Intricacies of Commercial Litigation with Offit Kurman's Commercial Litigators. I'm Niall McMillan, and joining me today is my partner, Sleight. Hey, Anders, how are you?
Niall, I'm well. How are you doing today?
Good. Welcome back here. And I understand today you wanted to focus on the topic of subpoenas.
Yeah, I think subpoenas are important. I know you've had a lot of experience in responding to them, Niall. It's just something that can pop up out of the blue, really, for any company, any organization or individual might receive a subpoena, whether you're subject or you're a party to a legal proceeding or a lawsuit or not. And frankly, more often, the subpoenas will come up for non-parties, that is, organizations and individuals that are not subject to the lawsuit, is where you'll more often see it. Just wanted to highlight a few things. If you receive a subpoena, what should you do? First of all, review the subpoena carefully. Look at what the scope of the subpoena is, what sorts of documents are being requested. It could be a witness subpoena, in which case an attendance at a deposition or a trial is requested. It could be a document subpoena, which is sometimes called a subpoena ducis tecum. It could be both, and that often comes up in the deposition context. First thing, just review the subpoena carefully, look at the scope, look at the timelines and the deadlines. Most subpoenas will come on court forms or templates that highlight the deadlines for your response, or if your personal appearance is required, that will be noted as well. So that you just want to pay particular attention to the scope of the subpoena, any sort of responsive deadline, any sort of hearing deadline, which should be laid out within the body of the subpoena itself. The very first thing sounds elementary. You just got to understand what you're dealing with so you can wrap your arms around it.
And from there, do you have an opportunity to object to the subpoena? Or what if it's asking for a lot of documents and it's going to take a lot of time and money for you to be able to respond?
Absolutely. Most states and the federal courts as well have rules that govern a subpoena recipient's ability to object to a subpoena. And for the most part, that objection right is preserved. So if there are documents that are well outside the scope of the particular case, or the subpoena is requesting documents that range over a very long period of time, that could be a grounds for objection. There's also a basis typically under which a party can move for a protective order or a motion to quash or modify the subpoena. So if the scope is too large, or it would be unduly burdensome or expensive for the subpoena recipient to respond, you have the right to file a motion to either modify or quash that subpoena. But I do want to highlight that any of those objections or motions that you may file to modify or to object to the subpoena, typically that has to be done very quickly after receiving the subpoena. Oftentimes within 30 days, it could be shorter depending on the jurisdiction that issued the subpoena. And every state and every jurisdiction has different rules on that depending on where you are. So it's important to bear those in mind. Reach out to your legal counsel, reach out to an attorney if you have questions about the deadlines, or if you're considering filing a motion to quash or to modify the subpoena in any way.
Yeah, that makes sense. So read the subpoena and talk to your attorney about it.
Absolutely. It sounds basic. The rules of the subpoena are very strictly construed. So it's important to pay close attention to what is requested, the deadlines, speak with your attorney about if you have concerns or objections that you want to raise. And then most importantly, make sure that you're responding timely and appropriately into the full scope of the subpoena if that's the decision. Most organizations, if it's not something that will require the disclosure of trade secrets or confidential information, may simply choose to just respond to the subpoena, produce the documents, and very often that organization will simply be moving on to the next thing rather than dealing with it or fighting over the scope of the subpoena. So a lot of different ways to respond, but make sure you pay attention and seek help when needed. Niall, anything to add on this?
No, just consult your attorney. There's lots of different, as you said, avenues for responding to subpoena. So there's a lot of different options you can use. It's good to talk to an attorney about that to protect yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree completely.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Anders. And just as a reminder for everyone, Offit Kurman is a full-service law firm with offices from coast to coast. We provide litigation services in a broad range of areas, including employment, financial services, construction, government contracting, business dispute matters, and subpoena matters as well. Please reach out to Anders or I if you have any litigation matters you have questions about. Thank you.